Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Düsseldorf. We want to talk about the format and the decks that we expect for the weekend. So what's the best way to do it if not with a close friend of mine, Raphael Neven, which is also the latest YCS winner from Chicago. So how are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you. Yeah, I'm great. I'm doing great.
Yeah, basically we're close friends, we play tested together for a lot, so we thought we were gonna have basically what we usually do on Friday night and talk about the decks we expect, what we want to play, because I think we never pre-register in our life, right? Yeah.
No, never.
Yeah.
Because I always want to be able to find the winning deck or tech on Friday night, and then I can't myself not be able to play it because I already pre-registered. I would never want to do that.
Yeah, and it happened actually to me as well, like the European Championship when I won about Shuffle Reborn and stuff, so you never know, and our suggestion is to just take it slow, take your time and use it. So we saw a lot of changes from YCS Milan. You can know a lot about it because you won YCS Chicago, so that's the great news to have European traveling away. What do you think it's gonna be different from your win, so from Chicago?
Well, the biggest, newest influence, of course, from Chicago is the new structure deck, Soul Burner, with the Salomon Grey deck, which is going to be very represented, I expect, and that will have a very big impact on the meta. I expect that the format will slow a bit down. Like in Chicago, there were a lot of combo decks, Crusadia and Thunder Dragon were really big, and now I think there are going to be a lot of Salomon Grey, which is a bit slower deck, so that will have a big change and shift in the meta, I think.
Yeah, I've heard a few people actually compare the Salomon Grey deck to the Zodiac deck. It's not, I mean, I wish it was the case because I love that deck, but it's still really consistent. It does the same thing over and over. What do you think is a good counter for the deck?
One of the big counters against the deck, well, the Sky Striker deck still has a really good matchup on it because there are engine cards, like think of Radio Anchor, Shark Cannon, are really good against the Salomon Grey deck. The Salomon Grey deck can also be pretty average against combo decks when they go second. Like if Thunder Dragon opens with the multiple negate board, it can still be hard for them to beat because they are a slower deck, so they need some time to set up. But then again, like you said, because it always does the same thing, it can do a lot of just one card. It's very player friendly, right? So a lot of players who picked it up right now. The deck is very easy accessible, and that's why it will be very popular because it's such a easy deck to master, right, in a few days, because it's just very basic combos but very effective.
Definitely. We have seen in the past months, and YCS is how good dangers are. They were played in a lot of different decks, and a personal favorite of mine with the new set is the Orcus deck. So you can blind second and even use it an OTK really easily, or you can just use it as an engine in a regular like Thunder Dragon deck. Or what do you think of that?
The danger, the Orcus deck that topped Chicago, my friend Ed, that's actually a really good strategy. I use kind of the same strategy, going second and just do a massive combo and try to OTK your opponent. I think that could be still a very viable strategy. However, the Salomon Grey deck tends to play Artifact Center with Artifact Scythe, and that's one of the few cards that completely shuts down those decks, while those Orcus and Lunalight and other combo decks, Thunder Dragon, have a little answer to that in the main deck. So it might be a bit weird in this event to play those decks. Prior then to Chicago, we didn't have that problem. So yeah, that would be very interesting to see, like if the combo decks can still do that, if that's going second and just OTK strategy is still viable. Do you agree, or?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think it's quite valid, but there is a lot of changes because the Salomon Grey deck can play a lot of entrops, and entrops were not as popular in the past, and now if you get entropped or like the Nightmare Mermaid or any key combo piece, it gets quite tough to deal with it and OTK, and then you're left open. So I think some people are actually taking advantage of the entrops and going rogue. So I saw Subterror is also a new deck that can play through the field. It reminds of Gear, and have you played any of that?
Yeah, I tested Subterror. Of course, I tested all the guys as well. I think all the guys is a deck that loses hard to the side deck. Subterror has still lose to some cards in the side deck like Prankertops, but Reboot, for example, is not really a safe out because Subterra is such a good stun deck because it has multiple strategies. It has their floodgates and their traps, like goes and match for there can only be one. Then it has the Subterra engine with the Fiendess, the flip-flop with the trap. And it also has a lot of hand traps. So it has 3 different strategies to shut down your opponent and doesn't get shut down itself by one strategy. Like one Denko, okay, the back row is now shut off for this turn, but you still have your hand traps. And when your Guru gets flipped, you still have an effect, right? So that deck is much harder to stop with one side deck card, and that's why I think it's of all of the roguish stun decks, Subterra is the most viable one. And it's also very consistent with the new Pot of Extravagance, of course, because that card is just amazing for such kind of deck that not use their X deck.
Yeah. Something interesting, I think, the last thing I want to talk about is we both see in the last YCS, Chicago and Milan, a deck that no one expected won, because we had Prank Kids in YCS Milan and then Lunalight with you in Chicago.
And before that we had World Chalice as well in Bochum. Yeah, so it seems that like the sleeper picks, like the surprise factor right now in Yu-Gi-Oh is huge, and I think that's a really good thing. That's like that really rewards players that think outside the box, right? I hope that's still possible, but like I said, because Salamander Great is such a good deck against combo decks, it might be a bit hard right now to come up with something like that because it's just right now the meta is not really in your favor. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll see something crazy.
We'll see. I think I'm looking forward to see if both Lunalight and Prank Kids were a one-time wonder or if they can repeat their success, and especially if someone can come up with anything new. So definitely excited about that. Let's see how it goes. Let's see who's right, and let's just keep watching the stream for more content. Thank you.